G'day everybody and welcome back to the channel. So today I just got a quick repair for a friend and it's this Apple laptop. Don't actually know if we're going to get it going. It's got a few problems, so I'm just grabbing the charger. So for one, the battery doesn't charge, and for two, it doesn't light up the screen anymore. Now I suspect that the ribbon cable that goes to the screen's broken. That's a common fix, but we'll find that out soon. The battery, it could be the charging controller, the PMIC, it could be the battery, it could be a few things, so we'll have to dig into that as well. So I'll just have a quick look and see what it's doing. Dodgy connection. Now, that's already turned on. That's not right. Okay, that's turned off. Oh no, it's still on. Alright, that's off. Alright, so it does turn on and off. So here's the good news. I don't have a spare screen, but I do have a spare ribbon cable and a complete exact same model as this, and I'm pretty sure this one charges. Let's see. Yep, it charges. Oh, you can hear it's actually started up. I don't want to turn that on just in case there's a short on that board. It's supposed to be on the side angle like that. Must be. How odd. That board's broken anyway. Anyway, so this machine works. So, you know, it should be alright. My mate might have to buy something for the screen. We'll see. It's missing quite a few screws, but I can take some screws out the other machine. I've got quite a few Apple laptops. I've just only got one that's the exact same as this model that I've got here to fix. So we'll just have to see. I'm just grabbing some tools. I am not an Apple fan. I'll tell you that now. I hate Apple. No bugger all about them. I mean, when it comes to the software side, the rest of it's obviously a computer. And I'm very good with computers. So, I guess the first thing I want to have a look at is what's going on with this ribbon cable, because the thing is with these, as you can see, it runs through here, and every time you, oh, that's not a ribbon cable, that's wires. Every time you twist it, it twists. So, you know, there's a good possibility that that's what the problem is. Anyway, the first thing I want to do is I want to know what is going on with the battery. I think that's, no, that can't be the connector for the battery. It's got to be the, it's got wires on it, I'm sure. Oh, it's right here. I'm going blind. I haven't been inside one of these for a while. Can't even remember how the bloody battery connector comes out. Not like that. Or does it? Yeah, no, it does. Plastic's just old and brittle. Alright, that's the battery disconnected. So now I have no idea what the pinout is on the battery, but Jesus, what has happened to this thing? This is not the right screwdriver, but these screws are so loose I can just get them out anyway. That's just hilarious. Isn't really anywhere to get. Oh yeah, I can see a spot I can test with. Let me just get a different probe on my meter. Actually, let's put power in this and see if there's any voltage present at the battery port. My apologies, I've got my leads plugged into the 34401A. Just bring them over here. Three point 3.4, 12, yeah. Oh. Could be a problem here. I don't know how these work, like I said. I'll have to do a bit of research into this. This is bloody dusty, I'll tell you that. Looks like it's got 4 gigs of RAM in it, two 2GB sticks. I was going to say I might put more RAM in it for him or something, but it's already decent for what it is. What on earth is just a screw chilling in here? Wow. Okay. Well, I'm not quite sure how to go about pulling the screen apart. I wish I had another screen the same as this, because I could just plug it in and that would give me a definitive answer. I think this comes off. I'll go get a teardown guide and find out exactly how to pull it down. You know, he's lucky in the respect that if one of these like the charging controller IC or something around that area is buggered, I've got another motherboard, so I can just swap the whole board or I can change the IC, either way. So that's good. I guess, well, whilst I'm at it, I might as well just chuck the other battery in here. We might as well. I mean, I've got the exact same battery in this laptop, so I'll chuck this battery in there. Now we've got donor screws. Don't worry guys, one thing I do know is where the short and long screws go. You can tell by looking down the hole. It's kind of hard to explain. I've worked on these before, that's why I've got a collection of them. When I say I'm just not good at them, I barely touch them. It's not my preferred thing to work on, but if someone brings me one and says, can you take a look at it, can you fix it, I will do it. I just can't believe how beat up these get. Every single one that I've seen is always beat beat up. I don't know if it's because it's aluminium and just, you know, when they get dropped, they end up getting all dented. Some of these screws are really binding. Try not to round off my screwdriver a bit. Alright. What? The cover didn't even come off like that off the other one. There's no clips on it. Alright, let's this might be a bit harder to get out. No? Cool. Alright. What does this battery do? Aha. So that's one problem solved. Yeah, I don't know how good this battery is, but I got all of the funny thing is the entire Apple laptop collection I've got came from the one guy. He always gives me his old laptops, and some of them aren't even old. I mean, he's literally given me that one that's missing the screen, which is the same as the model he wants me to fix. So I've got spare parts. It's just funny that spare parts have come from the same person. Dumbass Dave moment. Well, at least there's a battery in here that works now. Let's put that other battery back in the other laptop. Now, if I move this around, now it's not turning on. There we go. Okay, well, it's not lining up at any point, which is honestly not a good sign. I wonder if it's the backlight. No, there's nothing on that screen. Nothing at all. I mean, as you can see, I've basically lit up the screen. And I won't do that for too long because that could burn it. Okay. So we've got nothing going to the screen. I find that interesting. I would have imagined that there'd be something. it's over there. Just reseat that connector. I doubt it's that, but I'm just looking at all the dust in here and I can't help wondering. See, it's a little bit buggered. It doesn't really clip down. That's better. I'm sure that hasn't fixed it, but I mean, due diligence. Yeah, no, absolutely nothing. And I don't see any flickering of pixels or anything as I'm moving it around either. That's unfortunate. I don't think that's the screen or the ribbon cable. I mean, you know, it's possible that the ribbon cable's missing like a ground or something and therefore like literally everything is out. I do get that, but I mean, there'd probably be quite a few grounds as well. So I don't know. Jeez, this is dirty. I'll go have a look online, do some research, see what I can dig up, and then we'll come back and take it from there. Worst comes to worst, if the problem's on the board, my mate's kind of lucky because I've got a board right here. So I think this one's a fix. I don't think this is going to be hard to get this running again, but I'm just going to go do some research before I go and change the whole motherboard just to see. Yeah, I mean, if it's something like a shorted cap or a diode or something, I'm going to change it. If it's a ribbon cable, I'm going to change it. If it's the GPU or, you know, some boost circuitry and there's like three different voltage rails on one chip or something complicated, and I guess I could swap it. We'll just see what I dig up. Let's go. Let me go have a look. At least that's one problem solved. I guess what I'll do is I'll leave it on charge now. That way I can see if the battery works. Something else I've noticed is that the charging port's buggered on this. That fourth pin, I guess it's alright. It makes contact. There's still brass there. They are pogo pins. Could always change that charging port for the one in our laptop. What's the condition on this like? Yeah, this charging port's perfect. Sorry, I know that my focus lock's on, but there's no damage on those pins. Alright, well, if I end up doing a motherboard swap, I'll change the charging port. Otherwise, I'll leave it because I guess it's still working fairly decently. It's a little bit screwed. Yeah, okay, no, that does need changing. Yeah, alright. I'll change the charging port and work out the video problem. Alright, I'll be back soon. I was just doing some thinking about this, and I don't think I'm going to do any research at all because these things make a chime when you turn them on. This isn't chiming either. So no chime. Turn it back off. Let's try all the usual stuff. Oh, you've got to be kidding me. Oh, no, that's a double. It releases both at the same time. I was going to say one of those cards wasn't even seated. Come on, I don't want to grab it by the chips. Come on. A stupid design. It is Apple, I mean, what do you expect? just rule out RAM error. I've seen it happen plenty of times actually. And this doesn't have a ribbon cable to the screen, like I said, either. It's got wires, so might just do a board swap on this. This is the better RAM, isn't it? What's in this other one? 10600, 12800. Yep, this is better RAM. 1R times 8, 1R times 16. So this is dual channel, I guess. Alright. So we'll keep those SIMs. Maybe I should just quickly plug this screen I don't know how I'm going to do that. I think I'm just going to take my luck. I can hear this chime. I think I'm just going to swap the board over. I'm going to go do a little bit of research quickly just in case there is something that's a common problem that relates to, you know, it randomly turning on without making the chime sound, and just what's going on. No backlight, no chime, but turning on. If I can't dig anything up, I'm just going to swap the board and keep that RAM. Obviously, the same hard disk will stay in it with all this stuff on it. And, you know, and the charge port. And then put the cover back on with all the screws. I mean, the laptop came all beated up with no screws, no charging, buggered port, not even working. It's going to leave working, charging with a new port. You can't ask for more than that, really. So apparently if I plug it in and hold the power button for 10 seconds, that will reset the system management controller. I've got to try and get it to not turn on when I plug it in. Oh yeah, the battery's in it now. I'm just going to try and hold the power button for 10 seconds anyway and see if that works. No. No, I can't get that to, I cannot do that. Okay, there's maybe one other thing I could possibly try. I swear sometimes it was not doing that before. Let me just put the RAM back in case it's powering on because that's removed. I've come across computers do all sorts of fucking strange things with parts like RAM. Well, that was not good. Good thing you can't put the RAM cards in offset on a bad angle and short pins out, because that was still turned on. I wonder if just plugging the battery in like that. No. I'm just going to listen and see if I can hear it loading. Yeah, no, that's not loading. Alright, I'm going to go do a little bit more reading quickly and then most likely just swap the board and charge port over on it. Someone reckons with the battery disconnected, if you hold the power button down first and then plug the power connector in, that does the same thing. Let's see. Yes. Both the fans have spun up to full speed, or the fan. I thought there was two in here. Maybe there's another one in there somewhere. Okay. So the reset thing seems to work. And the system management controller is not functioning because that is not... Okay, that did reset the system management controller. I doubt it solved the problem, but hey. I'll give it one more power cycle. No. Alright, I shall continue researching. Alright, this is the last thing I'm going to check. Did someone put the wrong RAM in it? Because these things don't chime if there's a RAM error. So I know for a fact that this model comes stock with 1066, or at least one of them, because I've seen a couple of them with the RAM that I'm putting in it now. I think this is just a slightly upgraded model, and that is the original RAM, the other black RAM, but just in case, let's see. Fair enough. No. Ah, man. And yeah, I know, go around, check all the power rails. If a power rail's out, you know, it's going to be a boost module, or, you know, like a VRM or something, which means a whole load of reflow work and soldering. I might as well just swap the board at this point. So, alright. This can go back in my other one, parts. And we'll swap the board over. Alright, I'm back on this now. I've already started pulling cables off. Probably should have done that on camera. I've still got to disconnect cables off the other one anyway. So let the process begin. I'm going to swap the motherboard and the charging port. Here's an odd little connector. And it's got a tab on each side of it that you've got to squeeze, but you've got to pull it at the same time, and it's that bloody small. Actually, no, you don't have to squeeze it, you just pull it. Alright. It's always best to, you know, be a little bit gentle and just double check if you're not sure with these things. Alright, now let's hope, because I didn't have the screwdriver for this, but my mate left his toolkit here for me. So I'm just going to go get that, and let's hope that I've now got a screwdriver that fits these screws. Alright, let's see if we've got luck. Oh, I hate to say it, but it doesn't look like it. I really need the next size up from the biggest piece in here. Actually, I think there's more in here. Oh, we're in luck. We're in luck, never mind. Alright. Should be about that. I think that's actually the exact right size. Wait, is that got a different number? That's got a different... Oh, that's a star bit. There's all different bits in here. Okay. Yeah, no, we want these ones. Alright, so I think it's... That might be a bit too big, actually. Yeah, that's too big. No, that's it. That's the one. Alright. Let's go. So this is the donor motherboard. All different length screws. Always fun. I do have a trick for working that out, which I will share with you guys. If you don't have a diagram of where the screws go and you can't be bothered making some sort of map, what you do is you shine a light down the screw hole first to make sure there's no circuit board at the end of it, and if there is, you got to be really careful. And the second thing you do is you take a little bit of solder. I wouldn't use wire like this because it's sharp, and if there is circuit board at the end, you could scratch a track. You put it down the hole and you find out how far the threads go down. Never push into the threads, but on the way back up, if you hold the wire at an angle and pull it up, you'll feel it start going click, 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 click past the threads. So you basically put it all the way down, put it on an angle, start pulling it back. As soon as you feel that first click, stop, put your finger at the end of it where it is going in the hole, pull it out, and that'll be the length of how far your thread goes down without hitting anything, and you'll be able to work out, you know, what screws go where. I know it should be common sense, but somehow people manage to destroy circuit boards by putting long screws in short holes and such all the time. So I just thought I'd point that out, try and be helpful. Bloody apples. Did I say I don't like apple? Yeah, I would have said that. I mean, they're easy to work on, I'll give them that. But when it comes to board level repair, I mean, you know, you can get good software, like Paul Daniels' board view is really good for working on these boards. But yeah, there are a bit to work on too at the same time. I get the feeling that there's something else attached to the other side of this board. No, not really. There is, but it's not. Ah, I see. You have to take this little piece out. This annoying little piece. That's funny. That's funny. And then you can get to the last cable. Cables. Jeez, that's going to be tricky. What? I'm a little bit confused right now. There is a cable that is... What? I don't see a reasonable way of taking this out without destroying it. That doesn't make sense. Ah, oh, there's a speaker module there. That's what it is. But those wires go directly down to the board. They're not on connectors, are they? They look like they're soldered straight down. Wow, they're on connectors. Would you look at that? Alright, well that's good, because I need this cable to come out. They couldn't have made this any more fiddly. I'm sure there's something I'm missing, like maybe I'm supposed to take this speaker out first or something. But this cable clips into the side of the speaker, so if I can just... I'm sure you're supposed to take the speaker out first. What I was thinking is if I can just do that and unplug the charging port. So I think that's literally just held down by like some sort of glue. Yep, it is. Double-sided tape. Alright. I'll go give this a very quick clean off. I'm not going to go all out on it. I'm just going to take some IPA over it quickly. Vacuum it. Because this is our donor board. So I'll do that. The other thing that I need to take out of here is this. The charging port. I've misplaced the screwdriver already and it's not even mine. How do I do these things to myself? Oh, it's on the floor. You guys probably heard it drop. I might have a look at the thermal compound. I don't really want to. The thing is, the balls on these are known to fail. I'd rather just not touch that. I'd rather just be careful with the IPA so I don't wash thermal compounds out, you know, and just leave it. So I think that's the most prudent thing to do. I mean, look, you saw the state of the laptop and you saw the state of the donor laptop. All right, no matter what I do, I think it's a good outcome. So, one, what do you call it? I'm not an Apple guy. The mag port. I'll give that a clean up too. I'll go clean these two things up off camera. Put this off to the side. And then I'll come back and we'll get the board out of there and get this into there. Put the RAM in. Power it up. I've charged that battery up that's in there now, so that is fully charged. I don't, look, it did charge up fairly quick, so I don't know, you know, if it's any good or not. But all we can do is see, is this definitely the same board? Yep, same board. Alright, cool. I'll go clean this up, I'll be back soon. Alright, whilst I'm waiting for the IPA to dry, start getting this one apart. So that just unclips. These just pop up. That just pulls out. That's a bit of foam. Always be gentle with the display connector. Alright. Yes, these little cables at the bottom as well. Got to make sure you lift up the flaps before you try to remove the cables. Otherwise it will not end well for the laptop. Alright, screw time. Now I'm not worried about getting any of these screws muddled up because, to be honest, I basically just have a cupboard in my hallway which I'll give you guys a look at it. I should really tidy it up. It's a long story how it got the way it was. It used to be all organised and then it got completely trashed, not by me. Not by my missus either. Anyway, long story. It's basically a collection of computer parts from the 90s to present. There is a lot of crap in that cupboard. And, you know, it's all just for stuff like this, just to fix stuff. So I'm not worried about, you know, putting, I mean, that laptop's broken anyway. I'm not worried about putting the screws back in and stuff like that, as long as it's in a container in that cupboard. So next time I go in there looking for Apple parts, I can find whatever I'm looking for. That's basically what the deal is. So don't worry about the screws getting mixed up. Basically, my goal here is just to use the parts that I've got to make a working laptop here. Obviously with all my mates' stuff still on it. It'd be pretty annoying if I swapped the hard drive on him. Yes, the fan screws. Now I'll go take this and give this a vacuum and a bit of a clean up too. These are different fans. That's interesting. Obviously I'll leave this one in. this seems like a better machine, and I can only assume that this one that's got thicker blades but less of them, I think it makes more airflow. I could be wrong. I could be wrong. 0.4 amps. This one's in watts. That's so annoying. God. 5 volts, 1.7 watts. Now I've got to do maths. I'm just going to leave the fan that was in there. Is this ready to come out? It appears so. Whoa. Wow. Oh, what am I saying? I'm changing the board anyway. I'll put this fan in then. I put that fan in. The one that came with the board. Makes sense, doesn't it? Alright, back to this shenanigans again. Oh, I just can't believe how dirty this is. Don't do this, guys. I'm being extremely gentle and I trust myself, but just don't do that. Alright. I'm going to go clean this up. I'm just going to give it a quick vacuum and I'll be back. Alright, I think that looks quite respectable. No. I'm busy in here at the moment, little one. Motherboard's still a little bit wet, but I can start putting this charging port in. Well, actually, first I need to take the old one out. Probably a good place to start. Alright, I'm just going to wait a couple minutes for the motherboard to continue drying because it's just still wet in a few spots. Looks nice. I've removed things that were stuck to the speakers too. So, good charging port, good battery, good everything now. Maybe a slightly slower CPU or GPU, but shouldn't be too far off. It's only a hard disk based machine anyway, so we're not expecting miracles. I should probably keep that away from these magnets. I didn't think about that. It'll be alright, it won't have damaged it, but it's still not good. I'm just going to keep that off to the side. What I'll do is I'll move this over, so when I set the laptop back down, that magnet and side magnets are nowhere near the hard disk. I have the hard disk here. If they were stronger magnets, I would be quite worried. Although the hard disk does have a shell around it. Anyway, I'll be back soon. Well, guess what's just been dropped off? I've got this one here that I've just gutted to fix that. This one's just been dropped off. apparently some of the keys on the keyboard are not working, so we've got another one. Isn't that funny? I'm the Apple guy now. Alright, this board's almost dry. It's dry enough that I can comfortably start putting input. Away, there goes my load bank again. That is the second time I have smashed my load bank onto its Janana. Okay, that's a new one. Banana jacks. Goodness, things I do. Alright, now, I guess the first thing to do is to get this in. The new charge port. Oh, I just had it. There we go. Second thing I'm going to do is route this cable up this track. Alright, now I'm going to see if I can pull it through in the track or if I'm going to have to take it back out without damaging it. Yeah, I think I can. Yeah, that's fine. Alright, can I get that in the socket? I'm sure, hey, listen, I'm sure there's a better way of doing this. I'm not an Apple technician. Let me just put that out there. You know, the thing about me is I've worked on electronics and mechanics and things all my life, so I'm happy to have a go at anything and I'll work anything out, but it doesn't mean I'm an expert in it. I'm just an expert in working stuff out. If I was going to declare myself an expert, that's what I would say. I wouldn't say I'm an expert in anything. I'd say I'm an expert in working stuff out. Now, I know that kind of sounds pretty stupid because anyone could use that argument, but seriously, I just think that if I'm to brag about something, it wouldn't be just my skill set, or it wouldn't be my skill set, it would be my ability to learn. I think that's not just a more honest thing to say, but also a more modest thing to say. And that's the thing, you're always learning anyway. You can never know everything. Right, let me just make sure, I just want to have a quick peek and make sure that there's nothing. No, that's all good. I just wanted to make sure that this wasn't, you know, something that's in the wrong spot in there. Alright. Okay. Screw time. So. I'm now just going to work out threads. I'm going to take a small piece of solder. Yeah, it's longer. Yeah, that's that one. And that's how you work that out. I might be able to work out the depth of the hole, but I'm not good at getting these little screws on the bits. That actually feels like it's bottoming out. No, that's supposed to be a shorter screw. So that's going to be this one. Got plenty of screws here, like I said. I am really not worried. I can see this screw is a short screw. I can see this screw is a short screw. Actually, that's really short. Yeah, I'd say that's the correct length for that one. Yep. So you can tell I'm getting about the same amount of screws on each screw, which is a pretty good indication with these machines. You see, it's really not hard. I can see the depth of all the short screws, that's why I'm doing those first. So now, oh no, still one more there, little short guy. You can see I haven't gone to the other screw pile, I've just gone to one screw pile. I'm not bothered, like I said, you know, I'm trying to do it right, but, you know, I didn't put any effort into working out, marking, like taking note of where they came from and all that sort of stuff, so. Yes. Now I think this slightly longer one goes in here. Yep, that's the one. And then this one would go in here. Yep, and then this one that's almost short but not completely short will go in here. Yep, and our little side piece. Alright, that's the board and fan back in, and I managed to get all the screws in the right holes. I'm proud of that, because I didn't take any note of where they came from. So don't freak out, guys, when you take some stuff apart. If you just relax and have a think about it, you'll be able to work it out. I know when I was a bit younger, sometimes I'd take something apart and then realised how much stuff I had everywhere, and it would get a bit daunting, and I'd start to worry that, you know, I was going to screw up. But I came to realise if you just relax and sit back and think about it, it will go back together. Sometimes it'll go back together and you'll have extra parts and you'll have to take it apart and put it back together again before you actually get it all back together, but you will get there. The worst thing I found when I was younger, learning to pull stuff apart, put it back together, was sometimes, you know, when it would take so many goes to get something right, particularly with stuff like this where you got a lot of these little fiddly things, stuff would break, not because you didn't put it back together right, but because you've opened it and done it up and opened it and done it up so many damn times. That can be the problem with learning. You can break stuff from not breaking it, if that makes sense. I mean, I guess you are breaking it, but you know what I mean. There's a reason that we push that down and then put a crease in the cable there whilst pressing there. It's so that it doesn't try and pop back up. It's kind of hard to explain. It's not clear. I distinctively remember that it's supposed to click down. I mean, it does look all jacked up, but as long as it doesn't pop out, it should be alright. It's kind of in there. Okay, I'm going to put the RAM in. Oops. Now I still see a little bit of residue along here, and I don't like that. I'm not going to get this very hot. I'm just going to take hot air to it for 2 seconds. I got a funny feeling what it is. It's actually flux residue and stuff that's moved down, and it's just there now. It's built up in one spot. I don't think it's actually going to dry. Yeah, no. Might just try and it's weird, it doesn't go past the pins of the RAM socket. It's just like this line. I don't know. I'm just going to try and clean that up with a Q-tip and some IPA. Alright, I guess it wasn't that bad. Okay, so now the big question, will it work? Just making sure I'm not putting the hard disk down on a magnet. I want you guys to be able to see this with me, of course. Bummer. I think I know what that is. I remember those 3 beeps from a previous Apple job. That is RAM or GPU. I think this RAM is too fast. I think if I just put the other 2 sticks in, this is going to boot up. I've already lost them. Alright, all good. So I think they're I forget what speed they are, but anyway, they're a bit faster than these ones. The motherboard might not support it. I'll try them again if it does boot up with these, just in case they weren't seated properly. You know what, we'll try that first. I'll just try and put one card in. Oh. No way, the screen is dead. Really? Hold on. Alright. That was just gunk. Oh, that's bloody sad. That other motherboard wasn't working though, because it wasn't even chiming and it wasn't loading. I couldn't hear the hard disk loading or anything. This is definitely working. Let me just muck around with this screen connector for a bit. Hey, I had a feeling. Oh no. Now we've only got an all white screen. Something is sparking here. Oh my god. This stuff was shorting on a capacitor and it sparked. I hope that didn't blow. I've got to cut this off. This has got to go. That's to offer support for the wires, I see. Okay. I'll have to leave it and just cut it short so it can't shorten the board. That was a scary situation that just happened. Alright. Now back to this screen. Let's try resetting what I did before, the resets. Let's give that a go. The first thing I'm going to try is I'm going to unplug the battery. I can hear it loading up too. It's alive. I'm going to hold the power button down whilst I plug the power cable in. Oh, it turns the charger off. There it is. Fan's running full speed. It's not loading. Ah, beautiful. It's the disc. I mean, I can it's not beautiful for the owner. I mean, it's beautiful for the laptop. All right. I know what to do here. You know what's funny? All of the laptops that I've got belong to my mate. These Apple laptops. So, so whatever disc I end up putting in here out of the other one, it's still going to be his shit that's on there, just not the same shit that was on here. I just find that immensely funny. Don't you? Oh, goodness. Well, I find that interesting that there's nothing working, because that hard disk sounds good. Like I can hear it spinning up, doing the head seek test, you know, click, 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 and then just, you know, waiting. Probably not exactly as I made the sounds. That probably sounded more like a buggered one, but you know what I mean. And it's just up and running. I can hear that. And then I can hear the BIOS do one quick test, and then I don't hear anything after that. I have come across these ribbon cables right where they go into this connector here that have failed. It's really obvious though, because you see like a split line across it. This one's perfect. Just try and reseat the connector, reseat the hard disk. I wonder if this is one of those machines that you can do the online system restore option. Like I said, I know a bit about Macs, but I'm not a Mac guy. It's sort of like building amps. I haven't done it for a while. Things sort of flash back to me as I go. I know that's not in tight. Oh, what the hell, I'll tighten it just in case I forget. Battery. I mean, it's a working laptop with a good screen and a charge port now. But we really need more than just power, don't we? And no, it wasn't me that killed the hard disk because of the little magnets in the mat. It wasn't even actually sitting directly over the top of them, and they're that weak. If you want, I'll literally take a hard disk out of one of my own computers and sit it on top of magnets that are stronger than that, and it will still work. You'll be surprised, it takes quite a bit. I'm not saying you should go take magnets to your drives, I'm just saying. I know it's something you do, hold down option or option and something on power up. Man, really can't remember. Let me go off, do some research again. Like I said, I'm not an Apple guy. Because if I can get this disc working, because the reason my mate gave me this laptop and, you know, didn't give it to me to keep like the others he's given to me is because obviously he wants the stuff that's on it and wants to use his laptop. So obviously I'm going to try and save as much of it as I can, which is why I've put even the better RAM in it. You know what I mean? I'm trying to preserve as much of the laptop as I can. So let me go see what I can dig up. Alright, apparently this is slightly different to the one I'm used to, the Intel based Macs. There's no menu there when it starts up with this problem. You have to hold the Command and R key. I think it was that. We'll find out. Got a feeling it's not that. Okay, yeah, that disk has died. I see what's going on now. I can hear it go to crash as it's trying to access it to load. I just heard that. Alright, well, okay, well then I guess I'm wasting my time. Let's just swap the disk. Oh. There's no internet here. Not that this machine's connected to. Mouse works, yeah, cool. I think I'll just put the other disc in it and just tell my mate. He knows how to update Mac OS, so he'll be fine to update the machine. So I'm just going to take this other hard disk out. It's only a 500 gig. I'm not sure what's in that one. I'll tell you in a sec. I'm just going to take this 500 gig hard disk out, this other one, and I'll put it in there, and I'll see what happens. So I've got this hard disk as well. You know what? I'll tether my internet to this and see what this does and see if I can save it. There might be some reason. I'm not too sure. Like I said, I'm not a Mac person, but I want to do the best I can, obviously. Well, I gave it internet and it said it's going to be 8 minutes and the bar is moving along, so we'll see what happens. It's probably just downloading some sort of support files, sort of like, I guess, the equivalent of like Windows recovery media or like an old MS-DOS boot disk or something, you know. It's probably going to want to download more stuff after that, but I'm not too sure, so I'll still run through this first bit and see where it gets me, and we'll go from there. Here we go. 7. It is getting there. Isn't that nice to be able to plug the charger in and move it around and it just keeps charging? I reckon that's good. Alright, this thing has loaded whatever it was doing. Alright, do we have a... Let's see. Let's go disk utility first. So it's interesting. The disk isn't damaged. I had a feeling that it sounded healthy. We'll just give it a minute. Battery doesn't seem to hold too much charge. It was already down at like 92 or 90%. I just plugged it back in a minute ago. I did charge it all the way up to 100. I'll just pause the video because it seems to be taking a while. Nothing's coming up. I think it's looking for someone to plug an external device in at the same time. Alright, I'm going to try this. I'm going to select this disk, verify it, hit repair. Alright, well that's not going to work. I'm just going to have one more look at something. Is there anything that I missed in here? I'm going to restart it and see if it will boot off the disk now, and if it doesn't, where does it get this from? Does it already have it, or would it have to download it? It would have to download it, wouldn't it? I knew it. Alright, let's try. Oh, really? Let's just see what happens anyway. I think this hard disk is corrupt. The software that's on it. I think the hard disk works, but there is a problem. Alright, well it's turned off. I'm going to turn it back on. We'll see what happens. If it can't boot off this disk, I'll just put the other disk in it and I'll tell my mate. And he can do what he wants really. Reinstall operating system on this disk. I can put it in my computer and get his stuff off of it for him, or he can probably do that himself. But yeah, at least he has options now. Because this thing was totally screwed before. Alright, it's not going to boot off this disk. I'm going to put the other disk in it. Yeah. Alright, never mind. I realise now that I need to put the two screws back in there and leave them in there. It's only this side that you take out. You know what, I just put those screws in my cupboard like a douchebag. Yeah, one sec. Just put these screws back in here. Alright. Oh, what am I doing? Oh, they're both 500 gigs. So they're basically the same disc. So yeah, he ain't losing capacity. Might even have the same OS on it. He's probably going to have to upgrade it. I'll let him know. Obviously, I'm going to tell him. He's going to be very happy. You know, when he gave me this, he was happy if I could have even just got the data off of the disc. I said I'd do my best, but I told him, you know, if worst comes to worst, I can still get your data off of it for you. And he was like, yeah, that's fine. So I know he's going to be happy. Yes, I know, I slipped. I sort of over-tightened that screw. Alright, let's see what this disc does. Make sure it's not on top of any magnets. And if this works, which it probably does, yep. Alright, what I'm going to do now I'm not worried about that. I just wanted to see if it's working. That works. Alright, what I'm going to do now is address this video connector, because with rough movement, that's going to become a problem. Oh, my doorbell just rang. Alright, sorry about that. So, the connector seat's fine, I just don't want it to come out. This little thing doesn't stay down. And I see why. The groove is there for it to clip into on one side but not the other. And it does, it tries to clip down on one side but not the other. Well, I don't know if that's going to come out anyway, but what I'm going to do, I've got some of this really foamy double-sided tape and it's extremely sticky. I'm going to put that down and put a bit over it and hope that the back also puts a bit of force on it. I'm not going to pull the adhesive off the back of it so it doesn't try and stick, but you know, that's never going to go anywhere, and that stuff is sticky. It's not, it's you know, it's a million times stickier than sticky tape, if that makes sense. It's almost like a sticky gel. That'll stop that from going anywhere ever now. So now I don't need to worry about that. Did I do those up? Yes. Alright. Time to put the cover back on. Alright, I'll go do my due diligence. It's dirty. Alright, it's like a new one. Get that on there. Yep, that actually does touch. That's awesome. I'm very happy with that. Let's get these screws in. So, which are the long ones? It looks like there's only 1, 2, 3 long screws. There you go. If you wondered, it's those 3. I'm literally rounding the tip of my screwdriver trying to do these up tight because I'm so paranoid. Seeing all these laptops all in pieces like this, it's very odd. I don't know why, but that one doesn't want to... I know there's no board there because I know what's there. It's got to be a buggered thread. Well, at least that's one laptop sorted. Jesus Christ, get on the screwdriver and get in the hole. I think the screws are stainless steel. That one just landed on the carpet. I'm going to see if there's a better bit in here because the bit I'm using is absolutely a joke. Much better. Still one smaller, I think. Yeah, that's the one. Well, the head just snapped off the... God, these are weak. What do? It doesn't help that the cover's all warped up and the threads are all buggered either. I think this thing's been dropped a lot of times to the point that the case is actually distorted. Because some of these screws just, they don't want to turn and they're not even halfway done up, you know. That, I can't even put a screw in there. Jesus. We'll leave that one. It came to me with like 1 or 2 screws. So, you know, 1 screw missing's good. Yeah, these bits just break. This is a really cheap set. I can't even tighten the screws with these bits. It's a bit of a problem. Although my screwdriver's done the exact same thing, it just rounded off. Like, they're really small screws, you don't need to do them up that tight, but like I said, because half of the threads are nailed up and because the case isn't square, it's just... I'm trying to do them up tight so they don't come back out either, because I don't know what this guy does with his computers, but they all seem to be falling apart. That's how it's supposed to look. Anyway, that's one done. So alright, I'll just prove to you guys that it actually works. Actually, I've got to give this to him too because all his starters on both of these discs, so he can have both of them back. Now this is a different problem. This one apparently has got keys that are not working. This was turned on when he gave it to me. I hope he didn't do that because it had a password on it. Oh God, it would be just like me to do something like that. I have to call him up for the password. I'm not going to fix this now in this video anyway. Just want to have a quick look. Jesus. Sorry guys, I just realised that my focus was locked. There we go. 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 There we Wait, my focus isn't locked. My phone's just doing that. That is taking a long time. That is taking a long time. We're too used to SSDs. Just want to get a notepad or something up so I can see what keys are not working. CVBNM. Okay, so it's a bottom row of keys. That's quite interesting. Alright, well, I'll definitely have a look at that in another video. Well, let's see what's going on here. Whoops. Yep, we're up. So there you go. I'm going to turn this off. If I can even work out how you do that. Oh. Alright. Well, that ends the video. So, that concludes the video. I'm going to end the video here. And I'll see you all soon. Thanks for watching.